Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Wednesday, September 27th. So today we have the moon in Pisces all day, which definitely puts us in a inner realm disposition. We need to kind of detach from the outside world to move inward, really kind of explore what's going on in our head space and our heart space. We need to really try to align with our higher selves, really sort some things out, because we have a lot of decisions to make, but of course we're in Libra season, so no decisions will be made, but the whole point is that we're building towards making those decisions or commitments. May not be easy here today to figure out what that answer may be, because we tend to be a little bit overwhelmed, highly emotional, super sensitive, picking up on different energies that we don't know are ours to begin with. And so it is going to be beneficial to tap into our intuition. However, with Neptune retrograde in Pisces, it might not be as easily accessible as we're previously used to. So we want to focus on endings and closures and what's been going on in our lives and what we're needing to leave behind and moving away from, and how we can tie up loose ends and how we can kind of clear the space and clean the slate, so to speak, so that we can start building towards the new when we're given the green light go ahead to do just that. This is a very, I'm going to say, renewal type of time where we have to kind of step back, rejuvenate ourselves, recover from some things, realign with our higher selves, really pay attention to what it is that we've been lacking, where it is that we need to heal, what it is that we need to do in order to kind of unwind and act as the observer to see what is kind of coming over us, where our thoughts and our emotions are concerned. So there are 10 different aspects here today, 9 of them going to involve the moon. The moon in Pisces is going to make a positive interaction with Jupiter, who is retrograde in Taurus energy. I love this because Pisces energy, Taurus energy works very well together. The Piscean energy has us kind of receiving insights from our higher selves, from the higher realms of intelligence. Taurus energy is where we can bring it into form. Now, granted, Jupiter is about growth and expansion, and he really wants us to kind of bust out of our comfort zones to see where it is that we can open up new possibilities, new horizons, new goals. He is retrograde, which means that this is a lot of inner realm thinking, a lot of reflecting. We're not really in a state where we're seeing much change and transformation in our outer realms, but the inner realm is alive and well with all the change and transformation that needs to happen. What I love about this interaction is it does give us a lot of optimism, a lot of confidence, a lot more clarity on what it is that we're being drawn towards, and therefore what it is that we're being drawn away from. This is really going to help put us in a different perspective to see where it is that opportunity is knocking on our door for us to grow, for us to expand, for us to really push the boundaries of our comfort zone and the horizon and the possibilities that the horizon may hold. However, this is a time where we are processing it still. And in Libra season, we have to weigh the pros and cons of some of the things that we are contemplating, some of the things that our heart is asking us to pursue. This is definitely putting us in a good mind space, a good heart space, to really kind of see what those possibilities are. The moon is then going to semi-square Chiron, which is definitely going to bring us down a couple of pegs. A semi-square kind of highlights the tension and the conflict, where there isn't growth, where there isn't progress or improvement at all. And a lot of this has to do with our old version of self. And of course, we are trying to bring the new version of self out to play and be a little bit more of a permanent fixture, but we still have some things of the old self and the old reality that the old self has created to wrap up. Again, focusing in on endings, on closures, on what needs to be healed, what needs to be tied up, what needs to be brought to a closure point in order for a new beginning to actually have a space to be created in. The moon is then going to interact with the sun in not the nicest way. Of course, this isn't going to be the most enjoyable thing, but it is going to illuminate for us the different possibilities, the different options, and how far our heart and our head are away from being in alignment to actually making a decision or a commitment to one path, one direction, one choice over the other. The moon is then going to interact with Mars. Mars, of course, the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desire, who is in his weakest placement here in this Libran energy, stuck in the intellectual battlefield, having to sort out the pros and cons, the highs and lows, the everything in between, about the actions that we actually want to take with our new passions, with our new ideas, with our new goals, with our new visions. We have to think about it. Now, the moon interacting with Mars in this way, not the nicest way for them to be playing with each other. And this is going to highlight where it is that we're losing our patience, where we're a little bit frustrated, a little bit angered, if you will, that we're not able to come to a decision as fast as we would like, and we're not able to take action on that decision as fast as we would like. The impatience is really getting to us. We have ants in our pants. There's a little bit of restlessness there. We have to understand that there is a lot of thought needed throughout Libra season in order for us to be absolutely sure with the plan, with the strategy that we need to lock in, so that we're not wasting our time or our energy willy-nilly. But of course, this brings up a lot of impatience, a lot of restlessness, and can really put us in a very touchy, very edgy, very irritable type of situation. The moon is then going to semi-square, again, tension and conflict with the North Node this time in Aries energy. This is really putting us in a situation where we want to see the path forward. We want to see where a plan and a strategy is coming together in order to get us away from where it is that we've been at, in order to push us on the path in which we desire to be on at this particular point. But of course, what's holding us up is endings and closures, especially when it comes to the old version of self. And let me just remind you that full moon in Aries is going to be a boiling point where there is going to be a shit show catalyst situation for the beginning of the end in a lot of situations that will clear enough space out to allow that old version of self to be let go of totally, and the new version of self to start to be slowly integrated in. The moon is then going to make a positive interaction with Uranus, the great awakener, who is retrograde in this Taurus energy, helping us to identify where it is that we're fearful of letting go of the old, even though that we're done with it, even though that we've outgrown it, even though it's no longer serving us. There's a lot of familiarity and predictability in the old. Uranus is here to illuminate for us where it is that we're actually the problem. We're creating the blockage, the challenge, we're creating the disconnect, if you will, on trying to move forward. Although this is a great interaction, it is putting a huge focus, especially in our physical realms, what needs to end, what needs to die, what we have to close the door on in order for us to really dig into this next chapter. We're in a new karmic chapter. We have new timelines. We have new soul contracts. We have new karmic life lessons, but the old is still very much present. And therefore, the new has not been kind of let go to be integrated in the here and now. The one aspect that we have going on here today that doesn't involve the moon is not the nicest one. Let me just be very clear. Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information, communication, how it is that we express ourselves in his place of power in this Virgo energy. It puts blinders on so that we can take a look at the smaller details of our lives, of our mental plane, of our daily habits. We can identify what is broken, what needs to be repaired, what needs to be fixed. We're able to do that. However, Mercury, still in his post-retrograde shadow period, which means that there's a lot more confusion than there is clarity, even though we're trying to piece things together. Anywho, Mercury is interacting with Chiron, the wounded healer, who is retrograde in Aries energy, in not the nicest way. This is going to put us at odds within ourselves, at odds with other people. It is very irritating. It is hard to kind of, I'm going to say, read between the lines. We're hypersensitive. We're easily offended. It's not easy to communicate. We're not articulating ourselves correctly. We're projecting a lot of fear and doubt and insecurities onto other people. And this can lead to misunderstandings. This can lead to confrontation. This can lead to making a not necessary situation, disagreement, kerfuffle that we will absolutely have to clean up before we can go forward. Now, lucky for us, we're in Libra season, which puts us in a great situation, a great demeanor to negotiate, to mediate, to really kind of reconcile a lot of our relationship dynamics and kerfuffles. However, this one does not need to be exaggerated or exasperated in any kind of way. If you could avoid kind of, putting yourself in situations to hurt or be hurt with words at this time, we definitely want to just step back from this energy manifesting if we can control it at all. This is definitely a tricky energy that even if you're not in a confrontation outside of yourself with other people, you will definitely feel that conflict, that tug of war, of that disconnect between your heart and head in your inner realm. This brings up a lot of doubts, a lot of insecurities. We're hypersensitive. It's not a good vibe. So let's just kind of mind our P's and Q's and try to get this energy over with without us making a shit show out of it. The moon, about an hour later, is going to make a positive interaction with Mars. Now, this means that we are making some headway here. We are starting to see where it is that maybe this inner conflict or confrontation that gets created outside of us, if we're not very careful with our energy, where this is leading us to see where we can close some doors, where we can provide endings, where we can tie up some loose ends, and therefore kind of eliminate some of the options that we've been sitting on the fence about. And of course, the minute that we can remove things off the table pushes us closer and closer to making a decision on what is currently left on the table. So this is going to be a lot of intellectual progress, if you will, trying to sort out the options and possibilities available to us at this time, and puts us in a good type of mood and attitude to be a little bit more aggressive with what it is that we got to cut off and let go, and what it is that we actually want to pursue. The last thing that we got going on here today is the moon in Pisces, sextiling beautiful energy with Jupiter, the planet of growth and expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings, who is retrograde in this Taurus energy, showing us where it is that maybe we need to change things up in our physical realm, especially where our long-term goals go. So this is a good vibe for us. This is a realization on what it is that we want to change, what it is that we want to transform, what it is that we have to let go of, what it is that we've outgrown, where it is that new possibilities, opportunities are now presenting themselves, because we are more apt to let go of the things that are no longer really making us feel so hot, feel so good, feel so happy, feel supportive. And I think because the moon is in Pisces and we're trying to really wrap this particular cycle up, we're not as, I'm going to say, whiny, complainy, raw, real, vulnerable to hold on to the things that we know that we have to let go of. We're more excited, if you will, to clear out the space of the old and really get started on working on building the new.